choice.
Right.
Can the government ever really do anything for black and brown people, though?
Of course they can.
Can they?
Yeah. Yeah. Universal health care is one thing.
Yeah.
You know, if they finally get it and allow people to get healthy and be healthy, and Social Security, you know, people worked all their lives, you know.
Right.
Give them the fucking money. They put it in there.
I just feel like we've been screaming about the same thing for years.
Yes, we have. And because who's running it?
Yeah.
The same people that want to regulate women's bodies, you know. Because I don't even think all that's about, you know, all women's bodies. Because they don't care if y'all still get abortions.
Right,
you know
at all.
They just want to stop everybody else from getting them.
That's why I don't like you saying you're not going to be here because you 70, but all of Joe Biden's 74. Why should I vote for him? He may not be here.
Well, you should vote for him if there's no other choice,
right.
Because there's no other choice.
Yeah.
But you're right. You do want somebody who's vibrant that's going to be here. I mean, everybody probably would. We would have been happy if Barack could have had another term.
Absolutely.
You know, and this fool's talking about, well, I want to stay. He might not go. You know, that might start a whole nother fight, too.
I was thinking that
know.
same thing, yeah.
You know.
Well, we appreciate you.
It's funny because right when Samuel L. Jackson says, well, universal health care they can give us, they can start with that, the woman goes, education, not realizing we have universal education. In other words, the state confiscates the money at gunpoint violently from the citizenry and then monopolizes the compulsory education. And they are so upset with that after trillions of dollars and everyone's in there for 12 years. The results are so bad, they go, oh, yeah, that's something we need. As if it hasn't been going on for decades for every person. So, yeah, they're going to like healthcare done by the state as much as they like universal policing and universal education. Samuel L. Jackson says, allow people to get healthy and be healthy. Their being a government does not change. Actually, it does change whether or not people have access to a high quantity and high quality of access goods. The existence of the FDA, he could have said, is immoral because it increases the prices, making it harder for blacks and browns, let's just say in this case, to access products and services that are health related they otherwise would have access to. There's less competition because of things like the FDA and government regulations. So all he's saying is state, violently expropriate more, take over more industries, initiate violence against peaceful people. Is this a community that's really out of the slavery mindset? He then says Social Security. Again, initiating violence against the young to give money to the old, which I think you should save. I just don't think it should be mandatory. If you think, well, it's okay to force people to save, well, so anyone has the right to force you to save money. Well, in Fleming versus Nestor, the government said we have no obligation to pay you Social Security. That was at the Supreme Court level, but it doesn't matter to status. And Charlemagne says, well, we've been screaming about the same thing for so long and nothing gets done, you know. Is there any hope? Well, that should tell you, or at least give you an indicator as to whether or not the state is the mechanism by which you should achieve your ends. I mean, really, if they represented the people, then Congress would have more than like a 6% approval rating. But I mean, Britain can't even leave the European Union after a majority voted to leave like 2.5 years ago. So, I mean, government doesn't represent you any more than a kidnapper represents places you want to live. Who's running it? Samuel L. Jackson says, same people who want to regulate women's bodies. And then takes like a black joke saying, oh, they don't care if you blacks get them, they just don't want others to get them. Well, the one thing they don't want the women to do is take babies out of their vagina and kill them. That's really the only regulation, and it's not necessarily their body, it's another human being. So, I mean, there is ambiguity to that. It's difficult. But to just have this idea of, well, who's running it? You know who, same people. You're really not getting at the heart of it, because you can say, oh, the Jews run it, the men run it, oh, the whites run things, oh, the LGBT community, every time they're up in arms about something, they can get a corporation to bend over backwards and twist and apologize to them. Who's running things? What a dumb statement to say. Vote for Biden if there's no other choice. He actually said that. He actually said, vote for Biden even though he's not that good because they have no other choice. In other words, condone bad behavior even if it's totally immoral. And then he says, well, we could have had Barack. Oh, yeah. And then they all agree. Oh, yeah, I wish we really would have had Barack Obama. America dropped 26,171 bombs in 2016. What a bloody way to end Obama's reign. Now, imagine this being your ideal president, a mass murderer. Ted Bundy looks like a gentleman compared to this guy. The U.S. bombed Iraq, Syria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Libya, Yemen, Somalia in 2016. In other words, what this says is U.S. Average of 72 bombs every day. This is who they miss. Now, interesting, what can the government do for black and brown people? What's the average color of the person in Iraq, Syria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Libya, Yemen, Somalia in 2016? Does the Breakfast Club and Samuel L. Jackson care about blacks and browns? See, I'm not being a racist, actually think murder's murder regardless of skin color, and I don't make decisions based off them, even though I recognize there are averages amongst groups. But these people who only care about skin color, according to them, don't care about people with the same skin color in different geographical areas. Ooh, you don't count because you came out of your mother in a geographical area that's far over there. It's no different in principle than the accident of birth of racism. This is the Barack Obama they miss so dearly. Lie of the year: if you like your health care plan, you can keep it. According to PolitiFact, cancellation letters were going out to approximately 4 million Americans. So, total lie. That was the landmark of his presidency. Barack Obama also used the Espionage Act more than all previous administrations combined. In other words, he was kidnapping people for speaking out against him, such as Snowden, people like Assange, Chelsea Manning, and we have Obama's war on pot. What can the government do for black and brown people? Ooh, I wish we had Obama. Well, Obama advocates kidnapping people for victimless crimes, but you miss him so much, and he's so classy. And then, while advocating gun control, he sells guns to the Mexican drug cartel with Eric Holder. So, again, I'm curious if they know this, if they don't really care. Either way, what this would do, if we showed them all this evidence and all this total immorality, then what they would say is, all right, well, maybe Obama wasn't our guy, but Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders or someone else. This is why it's so important to focus on principle, because principle will transcend any technicality of objection. That was a great point by Hans Hoppe, where he goes, instead of arguing technicalities, the socialist is always going to say, oh, yeah, but that only counts because that doesn't count because that person was in charge. If this person's in charge, then it's totally different. Well, all that is to avoid getting people to think on principle. That's why CNN, Fox, MSNBC, they're basically just gossip shows where they talk about technicalities and not principles. If you value principles, please like and subscribe to this video. Please mention in the comment section if you think I got anything wrong. Thank you for watching. Keith Knight, don't tread on anyone.